Let's see if I did it right. Okay. If it's already broadcasting, I will say hello. Let's see if I did it right. There we go. Okay, we're broadcasting. Great. I'll start recording. You'll get a big announcement. Hi, everybody. Um, welcome. I'll start right now, if you don't mind. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to give a little intro, and then we will dig in with Ellen O'Grady. Let's see. It's 2024. I don't know. I don't remember anything. How do I share my screen? There we go. Welcome everybody. It's Friday night here in where I am, which is East Coast of America. But it might be some other time or date for you. and we're excited by that. Anyway, we call them the Friday night workshops. You're at the Sequential Artists Workshop. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is a tradition started in 2020 by the Believer, and we carried it on. It's been I think 2.5 years or something we've done it, and they started it and made it really, really wonderful. Anyway, let's get going. So Sequential Artists Workshop SAW is a nonprofit. You can find our courses and other stuff at learn.sawcomics.org. We have some courses coming up soon, like a deep dive with memoir with Beth Tremblay, a nonfiction short course with Jess Relifson, a Procreate short course with Elise Dietrich, and some publishing with Sarah Maloney, and then more even after that. Next week in this slot, Yasmin Abedafard, who's been here before, and she's going to be doing Break the Rules. Yeah, there's Beth's course. There's Jess Relifson's nonfiction course, just to give you guys something to think about. Procreate for Comics. Oh yeah, come to Seesaw Comics. That's where we're starting to showcase some student work, some faculty work. seesawcomics.org. We'll tell you more about that some other time or a little more in depth. Anyway, we survive from tuitions and donations. And if you donated today, thank you very much. There are lots of ways to help, but really donating on Friday nights is a big one. You can also support us at PayPal, Patreon, other ways, and we'll put that in the chat. You can become a sustaining member. We appreciate that as well. And we're ready to get started. Please no inappropriate speech or imagery, no trolling, no hate speech. Keep it PG-13. We keep everybody muted until the end, and then we ask you to come on and celebrate our great teachers. You can share what you do tonight on social media. Hashtag Friday Night Comics works really well. You can tag us at Comics Workshop. I'll put Ellen's in the chat, but it's Ellen O'Grady Art. You can also come to members.sawcomics.org. There's a special link in the chat that'll get you in there for free and easy. And enjoy and yay. And go buy Magic Nation 1, by the way. And we'll put a link to that on Ellen's site. And here's calling in our ancestors with Ellen. I'll stop sharing. And I'm going to spotlight Ellen. So Ellen's going to get really big for a second. There we go. Ellen, hi. I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to mute or stay quiet. I'm going to summarize what you just do and say in the chat. And if you need me, let me know. But mostly I'm just going to be monitoring the chat and helping you in any way you need. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Tom. I'm so grateful to you, Tom, and to Saul for week after week creating this space for us. It's been such a gift for me. I find this community to be so warm and welcoming and supportive, and I've learned so much. I've been so inspired. So I'm really happy to be part of Saul, part of this community. And I'm so glad that we are all here together. I see some people I know, a lot of new faces. So to begin with, I'd like to invite our ancestors who are bright and well to join us tonight in the work and in the play that we're doing together. And I would like to, actually, I can hear myself. I'm going to close.
You have somebody in the other room as well.
My friends in the other room. Thanks, Billy. I'd like to have it to do something similar to what I did in my last workshop, which was self-mythology. the self-mythology workshop, which is to invite us all to imagine that each of us received a special invitation to be here tonight. We are making up a community that is going to help this planet and all of its people, all of its creatures, all the bodies of water, all the land thrive. And in my last workshop, I asked us to think about something of our human essence that we're bringing to this community and to this world. Tonight, I'd like us to think about a particular work or play that we are engaged in or we will be engaged in this year. Work or play, or you might think about rest, or you could substitute a number of different words for that, but something that you will be engaged in this year. And then we are going to be thinking about an ancestor that we want to invite to join us in our work. And this could be a blood ancestor, someone who we're related to by blood. It could be someone we've known, someone who's passed away, or an elder who's still alive. It could also be a not or someone an ancestor that we're not related to by blood, but through spirit or through our vocational work. It could be an ancestor that's non-human, and they say we're made of stardust. It could be our star ancestors. So anyway, you can really use your imaginations to call in your ancestor that will be most supportive of you and the work that you're doing or the play that you're doing. I thought I might share a little bit of who I'm inviting in tonight, but I think I'm going to wait. And I think what I'd love to do is just really jump in and we'll begin with, so you'll need two pieces of paper. And the first paper, we're going to be doing some short brainstorming. Let me get my timer. So the first, and let's see, we've got a lot of this is great. We're going to have a lot of time to work on this. And if you have any questions, just put those in the chat and Tom will let me know. So the first short brainstorm is just think about things that you want to do this year, and maybe you've already made a list at the start of the year. These could be really big or small, but just I'll give you 30 seconds to come up with a list of work or play that you would like to do this year.
So that's for 2024. We're not reflecting on 2023.
Yeah, thank you. That's for this coming year.
All right. Chris asks if parents count as ancestors.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, any elders. Okay. And now our next short list. Well, actually, first I'd like you to choose one thing from your, I like to call it a to-do list instead of to-do list, but something that you'd like to work on this year. I'd like you to choose one thing that either feels, that either feels like the juiciest or the thing that you feel like you need help with. And so just look over your list and circle that thing. And then for our second list, which again, it'll be quick, just 30 seconds. is to think about what qualities or skills could be helpful to you in achieving this goal, or where, or that, or stumbling blocks that you might have in doing that work. And I'll just give us 30 seconds for that.
So skills or stumbling blocks that you might.
Yeah, so I wasn't very clear on that.
Yeah.
Skills that you might need, or and places where you think you might have some need help, need assistance. Guess it's sort of
30 seconds.
okay. Now in our final list, brainstorm list, I'd like you to think of ancestors who you might want to invite to join you in this work that you'll be doing this year, or that you currently are doing. And again, I'll give us 30 seconds. Okay. Folks, good. People need more time. Okay, so the next step is we'll take our second sheet of paper and we'll make 4 panels. I drew it. I drew the panels, but you could also, a lot of people like to create 4 easy panels by folding a piece of copy paper in one direction and then in the other direction. So giving you 4 equal panels. These actually aren't equal, but yes, and then you could draw on that line is another option.
So we're making 4 equal-ish
Yeah,
size panels.
equal-ish.
Yeah. And Jackie in the chat says none of my ancestors were into the arty farty stuff that I do.
Yeah, and that's why, and you can invite, it doesn't have to be a blood ancestor.
Hmm. That's what I did.
Okay, now I'm gonna, just a sec. I'm gonna share my screen. Oops.
All right.
Okay, so I like to work with a lot of prompts. And you might not like a lot of prompts. So you can use these prompts or you could use your own. You could take this wherever you'd like. But here's how I thought about it for the 4 panels. The first panel is to uh, say hello or welcome the ancestor and to thank them for whatever it is that you're grateful for, and the reason that you're inviting them to join you in this task. And then so this is great because we have a lot of time. Maybe we'll have 5 minutes per panel. So we'll do that. And then the second panel, you're going to share with them your project or your play or your healing. Like it could be that the what you want to focus on this year is healing your body or your mind. So this year I want to, and then you let them know. And the third panel, oh, I didn't write that right. It should be with your help. Would you help me with? So however you want to invite them to join you and supporting you. And then the last panel with your support, I imagine, and then you can kind of just sort of imagine what that project might look like with that support. And my hope in doing this, I know for my, so I often talk to a few of my ancestors, and probably most of all my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. And what I find is just inviting her to join me in something, join me in a conversation or join me in a task or support me, just in the asking makes me feel stronger. It makes me feel more capable. And she was this very, and you'll learn more about her in the comic that I make, but she was a very loving, capable person. And so in that last panel, you get to sort of imagine with this companionship with this ancestor where you might take, where the two of you, where, and it could be more than two, but where you will take this project. Um, is that all clear? Any questions about those prompts? And again, you can take this, you can do other prompts, but those are my suggestions.
I think it's clear.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So
Maybe
let's,
maybe zoom in to keep us focused. If we're going to do one panel at a time, maybe zoom in on panel one while we're working. Yeah, like that.
wait a minute.
I just think that'll help us. There we go. Are you going to be drawing on paper or are you going to be
I'm
drawing
going
on?
to be drawing a paper. What I don't have two cameras, but I'll share while I'm drawing.
Great.
Um, can you see me? I guess I'm very small, right? So if I shared, you would just,
I can spotlight you when you have something to share,
okay,
or I can stop your sharing, or
okay.
but it's nice to have that on the screen for a moment anyway.
Yeah. I'll set the timer.
And Tona wants to know if ancestors can collaborate.
Absolutely. You mean more than one ancestor?
Yes.
Yes. I was making, yes, you can invite as many ancestors as you would like. And you could even, yes, let's just keep it there. All right.
Has our 5 minutes started?
Yeah, just a minute. Oh yeah, but you can start. I'm just slow here getting in the timer. Okay, it started.
Jackie asks, what if I don't know what my ancestor looks like because I never met them? Is it okay to draw them as something else?
That's a great question. And yes, you could draw them in any way you want, out of anything, a star, an animal. Yeah, that's great. Great question.
We have 30 more seconds, Ellen.
Oh, yeah. You're taking time. I'm not quite done with mine. That's okay. And thanks for the warning. Okay. All right. So then the second panel this year, I want to and share your idea with them.
Can we see your first panel?
Oh yeah, I'm not quite done with it, but
Okay, maybe when
yeah,
you're done.
I'll just a sec. Let me finish it. Oh shoot.
We'd love to be inspired by our brilliant instructors.
Uh-oh, putting pressure on me. This is actually kind of a cheat because I've done a panel like this before.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing, so you'll have to reshare in a moment, but okay.
So this is
Oh wow.
so this is my grandmother, and we're sitting on um a braided rug. And I said, "Dear Grandma, thank you for your love and strength and for getting me to see life as a spiral rather than a straight line,
Hmm.
which will make more sense as we go." Tom, you're taking away my time.
Sorry. Okay, now we'll
I'm
start.
totally joking.
Start now. And can you share that really fast on the computer? I'm really uh making you do a lot of logistics today. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Share my screen.
Yeah,
Uh,
great. This year I want to. What do you suggest we draw here? Should we draw ourselves doing that thing?
oh, that's a great question. I am drawing myself in the act of what it is I want to be doing, but um, so but I'm being a little metaphorical, I guess. So yeah, so that's one way to approach it. Um, that's the way I approached it, to draw what it is I'm want to be doing this year.
Great. Okay. And otherwise people can draw whatever they feel like drawing, I presume. I'm not keeping good track of time, Ellen, but I think it's probably a minute or two
A
left.
minute, we've got a minute and a half left.
You're keeping track. Awesome.
Yeah, I gotta do something tonight. Ugh. Oh, I can show what I've been working on.
Great. I'll press stop share unless there's a way to, let's see.
Oh, I can stop share.
Okay.
Actually, so I can do it, Tom.
Okay. Yay.
Okay. So
And
this,
can you hold it a tiny bit higher? Would that be all right? Oh, great. Look at that. Beautiful.
so um, so this year I want to create a book of comics that braids together personal narrative. So one strand. Oh, it's time. Personal narrative, uh, history and current events, and psychology and philosophy.
Oh, wow. That's so exciting. I want you to do that too. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
It's daunting.
Okay.
Okay, so now share screen, and so on our our next panel.
Panel three, 5 minutes.
Okay, so then you're inviting your ancestor or ancestors to help you with that project and perhaps a particular aspect of the project. So, for example, I have a hard time completing projects, and so I'm one of the things I'm asking my grandmother for is help being steadfast.
Great example.
I've been drawing myself as a cat recently. Everyone is cats, and now I'm having a hard time remembering how I draw human faces. Oh, I forgot to set did you set the timer, Tom?
I did actually. We're going to 36 minutes after, which means 3 more minutes.
Okay, I'll set it for 3. Thanks. Looks like we have a minute and 45 seconds left. Shh. 10 more seconds. Shh, Nima. Okay. Now to our final panel. So in the final panel, with your support, I imagine, and what I was thinking about here was just how you imagine the support of this ancestor enhancing the work or nurturing it, making it more beautiful. Or if it's healing that you're doing, deepening the healing or whatever.
Hey, 5 minutes from now.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'll set the alarm. A minute and a half left. All right. Whew. I could have used more time.
That's how it always is.
I'll stop my share. Of course, you all can continue working while others share, and I can. We have, let's see, what time? 42. Um, so how about I'll share mine first. You saw two of the panels.
That would be great. Will you do me one favor, Ellen,
Yeah,
while I have you? Will you raise your Zoom hand? That'll be on the bottom somewhere. Sorry, here. Like I just raised mine. And in that um
just a sec. Oh, I see.
great. Okay. Hopefully that'll stay up and then when we look at other people's work, we won't lose sight of you.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay. So I added to my first panel. So I feel like I should give you a little background of my grandmother. She was a remarkable person, and I have some of my siblings with me tonight. I didn't realize as a kid how hard her childhood was. She grew up in Ireland, born in the late 1800s. Her family was very poor. She had to leave, or she chose to leave Ireland to work in England when she was 12 and never returned to, well, she returned to see her family, but that was it for living with her family. And that's how she came to the United States, was with the family she worked with. I didn't know any of that as a kid. What I knew is that she created these amazing braided rugs, and all of the materials were from uh, fabric from her life. And we would sit on the rugs, and she would point to the fabric and like tell me, uh, so here she says, this is from your father's coat when he was your age. Wow. And so you would be sitting on her history and on my history. And so I added the words, so thank you, dear grandma, thank you for your love and strength and for getting me to see life as a braided spiral rather than a straight line. We continuously come back to things in the past, have new understandings and make new connections. And then that brings me to panel 2. This year, I want to create a book of comics that braid together personal narrative, current events, history, philosophy, psychology, and then would you help me remain strong and steadfast? And the final, working together, I imagine a book that more closely resembles your life in its simplicity, strength, and beauty.
Wow, that's lovely. And again, I'm just greedy, but I'd love to see that book too.
Hopefully.
But how wonderful. What a nice. Thanks so much. So we do have some people raising hands. I
Wonderful.
a few more. And like I was saying, oh, Ellen, do me a favor. Here's the th crazy thing. Raise that Zoom hand again. It's just gonna
Oh,
it's not your fault. AI, the Zoom AI has done this thing where if it thinks you're done talking, it lowers your hand.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Thanks. Anyway, because I'm going to spotlight other people and I don't want to lose sight of you. So we'll go to Linda, then Chris, then William, then Nina. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Let's see. We'll go to Linda here.
Thank you, everybody. Ellen, it's so great to see you here. You're the one who started me on this, and I'm just so grateful that you introduced me to this community and that the community is here. So this is my Aunt Evelyn. Here's the full look. She was a madman style ad agency person in Rockefeller Center and later in Hollywood. So she had vast style and zip and skill all the way through her 96 years. So I say, dear Aunt Evelyn, thank you for your zippy marketing skills and sense of style. And here she is in her ad agency. When she was 96, she was upset that people didn't still call her a sex kitten. So I've given her a very shapely figure. I said, this year I would like to make zines about wildlife gardening for the neighborhood. And it says how to grow native plants. And there's a butterfly and some plants there. With your help, would you help me make it fun and persuasive instead of a lecture? I tend to do this, and she just makes everything fun. So, and here I have some of my neighbors who say, hey, we could do this in our garden. And my vision is that it would be, I've got an old mailbox that I want to paint a beautiful color and put it on something that says free zines and have a daisy on the thing that shows that there's mail in it. Put that by the curb so that people can pick it up and take it with them. And she could make it beautiful instead of mundane. So that's my hope. Thank you.
That's wonderful. I love those drawings and I love the details, like her wanting to be called a sex kitten in her, did you say in her 90s?
Yes, yes.
I loved the way you drew her.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks, Linda. And
Thank you,
check the
Linda.
chat. People love that idea, so the chat is waiting for you too. We'll go to Chris next.
Well, that's perfect because my the ancestor that I chose, so it's good that I follow Linda, was my wife's father actually, because he published a paper for 35 years. So, and I took the cues literally. So I say, Dear Merle, thank you for publishing your paper. And then this is, what does I say? This year I want to publish a zine, so I can put it in Linda's library. Because I draw a lot of stuff, but I never do anything with it. And I have a long thing stapler and all that. With your, what does it say? Would you help me to be driven, persistent, and determined? And he's yelling, we have deadlines, because you got to publish a paper, there's always deadlines. And then with your help, I imagine a first edition, and then there's somebody reading a first edition.
I love it, Chris. I love it. I hope you put this, do you think you might put it somewhere anyway, I like to imagine that it's on your wall supporting you. It is wonderful.
So much potential in this. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you. And yeah, we want to see a zine. We'll go to William next. Here we go.
Okay, hi everyone, and thank you, Ellen. I'm really excited about this workshop because your presence on Instagram has meant a lot to me in recent days.
Thank you, William.
This is actually really timely for me because my grandmother passed exactly a year ago today, and this was the perfect opportunity to honor her. I've been thinking of her a lot lately. So, ooh, my picture quality is blurry. Well, I'll read it to you. Dear Virginia, thank you for being my grandma, for showing me warmth, indulgence, pleasure, and comforting company. It's a drawing of me with some strawberry vines and acorns, which I associate with her. Second panel says, this year, I want to find the structure to be creative, warm, and generous. to become buoyant.
Mm.
And it says, two people on the boat straight ahead, pointing to somewhere in the distance. Third is an image of two orca whales swimming.
Mm.
Would you help me with listening to and protecting my heart? I've been having dreams about orcas lately, which I feel like is a message.
Mm.
Then finally, an image of us sitting together in her kitchen. With your support, I imagine I can find the strength to be firm and soft, which
Mm.
she was a single mother of three, and she also was an entrepreneur on the side. She had her own candy making business, and she's been a big inspiration to me recently. So thank you.
William, those images were so gorgeous. I hope you put them online so we can see them better.
I'll do it. I'll
I
tag
just,
the workshop.
what's that?
I'll tag the Sequential Artists
Okay,
Workshop.
great. Yeah, those are gorgeous. And the, yeah, I look forward to having a clearer picture of them. But each one felt so complete. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, William. Okay, we'll go to Nina next. And I just put information about tagging people in the chat. And also, the chat is really happening. Hi, Nina.
That was so beautiful, William. And sort of in that same vein, it's January 18th is 38 years since I lost my mom. And she was a fine artist. She was an abstract expressionist and she wrote poetry and she battled mental illness. Anyway, it's a very full loaded thing for me. And all of 2023, I was battling cancer. So I did this. I wrote down the panels so I don't have to stare at them. So the first one says, "Hi, Mom. I've missed you so much. It's been almost 38 years since you left. Thank you for being my teacher and inspiration." And the second panel, it says, "This year, I want to get back into my creativity, find a style that makes me happy, find joy and focus in art and writing." And then on my third panel, it says, "Would you help me find my way back? I feel so lost." And then my mom said, "Remember I told you to draw every day, even if it's a little drawing, and write every day, even if it's a little poem." And then in the fourth panel, I said, "With you, Mom, as my avant-guardian angel, I hope I can find my groove again." I always called her my avant-guardian angel because I was so young when she died. So anyway, thank you for this, Ellen.
That's so moving, Nina. I loved all the drawings and yeah, all of these are, that reached my heart. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Nina.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to Sam next.
Ooh, I'm gonna try not to cry. These are so emotional and like so profound. You can hear me, and I'm gonna boop boop. Nope, a little bit over. Okay. So, dear dad, my dad just passed away like a month ago, and I spread his ashes maybe a week ago. So he's the like first person that comes to mind for this exercise. So the first panel, dear dad, thank you for being bold. One of the quotes I often use to describe him as bold. And there's a Prince song I always sing, and it's "When Doves Cry." And there's a quote that he says, "Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold." And I love that. I feel like that kind of describes our relationship. And this year, I really want to tell your story, but from a perspective of like post-mortem, of like me figuring out things after the fact, after he's passed, and how I feel closer to him in spirit, and writing from that space. And then would you help me keeping promises? And I wanted to have like the shaka, the like hang 10 loose, like we spent a lot of time in Hawaii, and I wanted that to be like the diligence, the dedication in our relationship to like keep me on a schedule and keep me persistent in this writing journey. And I also found out like he wrote things as well, and so I feel connected to him in my writing now. And then last panel, with your support, I imagine freedom. I feel like there was a lot of things like he kept secret, and I feel like publishing that journey of ours, like in life and also after, will kind of create this like new wave of freedom in my life.
Mm. That's so moving. All of these have been so moving. I'm so sorry for your loss. I love the images of the hands. And I often think about this, that our relationships continue, like what you said about, writing about him postmortem and that being a different I'm using my own words, but that being a continuation. And that's gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you so much. We'll go to Allison next. There we go.
Well, first of all, I love this. Thank you so much, Ellen. Okay. So I have my ancestor. I had a couple of women in my past who never had children, and they were both artists. But this one in particular is her name was Nena, or Ellen actually, and she did some beautiful work. She traveled. She studied under Aiken, a kind of semi-prominent Philadelphia painter. But I wanted her to help me with my getting a draft together of my memoir. And like you, I have a hard time with the perseverance part. So that's where I'm asking for her help. And since my memoir is going to really revolve around birds, I imagine with her help that I'll fly like the birds I'm drawing.
Beautiful, Allison.
Thank
I
you.
love your style. It's very, very bold.
It's kind of like, it's hard to control, yeah.
I didn't get that sense. It's just a very bold line and gorgeous colors. And
Thanks.
thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Alice. All right, we'll go to Jackie next. There we go.
Not crying, you're crying. Thank you, Ellen. This is a great workshop. I don't mean to steal anybody's thunder or anything. I lost my mom 2 weeks ago, so this is especially impactful for me. I drew us all as chow dogs because there's a family story about by Zadie, my grandfather for whom I was named, and I never met him since when my mother was 4. Dear Zadie, thank you for taking care of my mom and for my name. And there's this year I'd like to complete a first draft of my autism parenting memoir. Would you please help me with being fearless about writing it as you were with so many things in your life? And there's him, being a Jewish immigrant and making his way in the world and standing up to a woman who he found, she left her dog in the Atlantic City boardwalk and losing his legs to cancer. With your help, with your support, I imagine not allowing my fear to influence my actions, or maybe not having fear at all. And if I can stand up, if I can, there's a family story about how he followed some beggar who was like pretending to be a beggar or blind or something, wasn't really, like, into an alley, beat him up. If I can do it, you can do it, Jackala. And then he like, okay, sheesh, and tap. So thank you. This workshop was a real treasure for me right now.
You're a real treasure, and I'm so sorry for this recent loss. And thank you, Jackie. I love those chows. I love the chow theme.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jackie.
everybody.
We're so glad you're here tonight. Thanks. Okay, we'll go to Nancy.
Okay, well, I'm following with another dog story. Mine was to invite my dog that passed away last year, little Jack, and to kind of invoke the crazy things that he used to do, because that always gave me a lot to draw comics about. And then I told him, well, I want to work on, some zines and the graphic memoir and also the graphic novel about the horse, Emily. And there I am, working at my art table with Jack watching. And then let's see. Oh, the next panel shows some of the things that Jack got into. Like he always had to wear a GPS that was reporting to my phone because he was always running away. So one time I followed it and I couldn't find him anywhere, and I couldn't figure out how he could run so fast from one street to the next block. It turned out he was swimming in the lake chasing some ducks. And that's where I found him. And then another time, a lady called me up at work and said, "Oh, I found your little dog and he's so cute and I think I might keep him. I've got him at Home Depot right now." And I was like, oh my God. Because if he gets away at Home Depot, I may never get him back. So yeah, I had to send my husband to get him. And then the last one is me. Hopefully with Jack's help, I can finish what I start. And here we are reading one of the zines about Jack.
I love the Jack ancestor. I love your dog ancestor. That's gorgeous, Nancy. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. All right, we'll go to Andrew next. Hey, Andrew. Let's see. There we go.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Ellen. It's good to be here. I'm glad I could make another great workshop. So I'll just jump right in. Hi, Mum. It is Mum, right? We never got to meet, but you're there, yeah? So my mind has been kind of heavy, like full. It's hard to sleep, to relax, to focus. So can you, I don't know, could you help me focus on what matters? Like get it out? With you there to listen, maybe it'll help me tell a story that matters because you want to hear it.
Wow.
That's beautiful, Andy.
Thanks.
Lovely, lovely colors as always. And such a sweet story. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Awesome, Andrew. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Mari next. And there's two in there.
Hi. We actually have three because Mari did two.
Is that?
Do you want to go to more? This is more.
Yeah, it's Gainesville style. Hi.
Yeah, hi. We're at the physical Saw location. Just kidding. This is our house. We're in their house. I can go first. This notebook is my grandma's, but I didn't write my comic about my grandma. I wrote it about C.T. Garba, who's a Buddhist saint that watches over hell. I wrote, "Dear C.T. Garba, thank you for supervising my catabasis. This year I want to be refined instead of suffering pointlessly. Would you help me become very spacious inside of myself? With your help, I imagine judgment gives way to compassion."
I love your character. It's Mari, right?
That's Mort.
Mort, sorry, I got confused. Mort, I love your character. I look forward to seeing more of that. Lovely story. Thank you.
Thanks, Mari.
Are you on Instagram? Can you be followed?
Yeah, I haven't been logged on in a while, but my Instagram is girls.complex.
Okay, I'll remember that. Thank you.
And on Tumblr too. But okay, so I did two. I was thinking about both my great grandparents on both sides, and I was drawing small and fast, so I just ended up doing two kind of concurrently. Let me see if I can get them. The first one is my grandmother's mother, who my grandmother is bound to pass soon, but so I have, "Dear Joyce, thank you for your unwavering faith and for the extra prayers you prayed for me. This year, I want to transition into the next stage of my life with faith in my resolve to make the best choices. Would you help me with not becoming too discouraged by the challenges that life brings? Can you help me to remember a love of God and faith in his designs, to be devoted and loving to those close to me? With your support, I imagine rebuilding a broken family, accepting the wrongdoings of the past, and letting the Spirit guide us towards the goodness in our hearts. So that was the first
Gorgeous.
one. And then the second one was for my great grandmother on my mom's side, who she lived until 109. Dear Sonny, thank you for your cool pragmatism and your frank demeanor. And that was her playing this game called Rummy Cube. This year, I want to keep a level head and continue the work that you didn't get around to in your long and storied life. Which she always wanted to weave, I found out recently, and I got to weave for the first time. So it's really fun. Would you help me to, whoops, there's all kinds of things falling out of here. Sorry about this. Would you help me to know what I can focus on that will honor you and John, my great grandfather, without compromising my search for my truth? And then with your support, I imagine becoming the well-rounded craftsman and explorer you always wanted to be. And is her riding a motorcycle and me riding behind. So she got to ride a motorcycle in the last few years of her life. They did that once yearly at the home. So
I love all of those. I'm amazed at the writing that you all are doing and how quickly the words are coming out. It's gorgeous. And I just wanted to say, you said about that that she wanted to weave but never did, and now you're weaving. I was just at a workshop with Lamarad Owens, and he talked about ancestors being able to live through us and do things that they may have wanted to do through us. And so I just was imagining your ancestor weaving through you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Thanks. Morton, Marty, thanks so much. Nice to see you. Okay, we'll go to Rebecca now.
Wow, I really love these. I really love these. Okay. I did mine about my friend Shotzi Weisberger, who passed in 2022 at the age of 92. She was an activist and a nurse for a very long time. Oh, I'm getting the looks like you're done talking pop up. I'm not done talking. I would think she's an activist and a death educator, and became a little bit famous at the end of her life. So I wrote, Dear Shotzi, thank you for rising to the occasion of this life. Thank you for being my friend, and thank you for showing me how it can be. And this is a drawing of a work of art I made of her, and I inherited her cat when she passed, and I turned her cat bed into a little altar over there. It's right within my line of vision, so I drew it just how I see it right now from the couch. This year, I want to use my voice. I want to share books of ideas and conversations and art. I want to say it, standing tall and loud and proud. This one says, would you help me with my confidence, with being bold in public? Ooh, I'm getting teary-eyed. With saying the truth of what it is, with being out there online and seen and known and seen. This is specifically because I don't post anything at all online, and I'm really just confronting what a complex I have about it. And the last panel says, with your support, I imagine myself feeling sure. And like it is my job to do. Like, why the hell wouldn't you risk something? And that's me speaking at a podium on a stage.
Wow.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
I'm going to cry and read the comments now.
I feel like you're channeling Shotzi, and I know a lot of people who knew her. And so I appreciate you bringing her to this space. And I felt like you were very bold in everything you just shared.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ellen. That's very touching. And I had wondered if there would be some overlap between your circle and her circles.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna go to Kate and then Eli, then another Eli, then Michaela.
Wow, this is so moving, everybody's stories. So I did mine about my friend Michael, a dear friend of mine who I lost a few weeks ago and is just the first like close friend of mine who died. And so it's just really had an impact on me. Okay, so the first panel is Dear Michael, thank you for seeing me. And this is when we became friends and I was pregnant and struggling, and he just kind of singled me out, and there were all these interesting people at a party, and he just sat and talked to me about being pregnant. So this year I want to be curious about people and listen to their stories. And then how did you feel in that moment? Tell me about it. And then here I'm asking Michael, would you help me to tune into others, to be curious and to deeply listen? You always made me feel like I was the most fascinating person on the planet. And I feel like he did that with everyone, and it's a gift, and it's just something that I would really like to bring into my own work. And, I interview people for my job, and I also am doing some teaching, and I really want to find that gift of listening to people and really hearing them. With your support, I imagine I can help people lift their voices to be known.
So beautiful. Katie, my heart goes out to you and your loss of this, to be seen, that first panel of, that he really saw you. That's the best gift we can be given.
Yeah.
And once again, I do feel like he's here through what a great memorial. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate. Really amazing. We'll go to Eli next. Here we go.
Hi. These are all so beautiful. I'm so happy I'm here today. My camera is a little weird, so it's at a weird angle. I can't fix it. I did mine about my, it's trying to cut me off. I did mine about my birth mother. I was given up for adoption and I didn't find my birth family till I was in my 30s. And by that time, my mother, who was the one I really wanted to meet, had passed away. She died when she was in her 30s of cancer. But my families had been saving all this stuff, hoping that someday that they could find me and show me all of the art that she made. She was a ceramic artist and made just beautiful, beautiful stuff. That was very exciting to find that I had come from a family of artists and that there was a reason. I mean, you don't have to come from a family of artists, but it felt really nice to have that background in my DNA. So her name is Susan, and I have a few pictures of her. So I got one out and drew a picture of her. And when I had hair, we actually looked kind of the same and would make sort of the same moody faces. So I'm saying thank you, Susan, for making art that lasted after you died so that I could see it and see that we had our shared interests. And then I say this year I want to do even more making of paper art. And I've been doing all this German like Scherenschnitte stuff where you cut little landscapes into black paper and it wrecks your hands because it's so detailed. And like little snowflakes and stuff. I want to make more of those and more comics and storytelling. And will you help me make time and with the ideas for patterns and designs for the ornaments? She really excelled at pattern. It was beautiful, the stuff she made. And to have confidence in the tools and materials I'll be using. Will you help me care for my hands so that they can be strong and flexible? They say that our hands look the same. My hands are kind of wrecked from work. Oh, sorry, I wasn't showing you the picture. And then in the very end, I say, with your support, I imagine I'll find joy and humor and inspiration and the drive to complete some of my ideas. And your sense of pattern and detail will inspire me to create some of my own. She did a lot of ocean seashell based stuff in porcelain that was just, I can't even understand how a human hand could make it. But anyway, that was who I'm talking to today.
So beautiful. That's so beautiful. It's such an incredible story of being able to see your mother's art and feeling that connection. And those panels are gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Eli. Thanks so much. And I will go to Ellie. Is it? Oops, just lost you. Hold on. Ah, there we go. Are you able to unmute? I broke it. Hang on a second. There we go. You should be able to unmute.
Okay, thank you. Really appreciate hearing everybody's stories. It's so beautiful. So I decided to do mine on my great grandfather, who I never met. Hold on, I'll just show mine. I decided to do mine on digital, but I realized I should have done it on paper because I made it really easy for myself to erase. But nonetheless, I chose my great grandfather because I don't really know that much about my history. Asian parents are always really tight-lipped about history, and nonetheless, I learned about him.
Can I interrupt? I'm not seeing the work. Is anyone? Are you?
Is she not spotlighted? Hang on a second. Let me see.
Oh, there we are. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah, I also couldn't see myself, so thank you for that.
What happened? Great.
Yeah, so I decided to do mine on my great grandfather because I only just heard about him recently. I went to Taiwan, which is where my parents are from, for the first time in 18 years, and that was also how long I had not spoken to my grandmother, and she told me all this really fascinating history about what it was like to be a child during sort of World War II Taiwan and also during Japanese occupation. And during that time, she said that her father used to wake them up really early in the morning and find shelter because the US Air Force used to drop bombs on Taiwan during that time. And so I dedicated this to him because it sort of got me really thinking about how, I really appreciate how he put in all that effort to try and protect his family and my grandmother, which I think is a way of also protecting, future generations of women. So my mother and also myself and my sister. And then in my second panel, this year I want to work on building more community with other Asian heritage folks. And so basically I moved to another state. I've moved 5 times in my adult life because of my job. And so I moved to North Carolina recently and have been working on making friends with people with sort of shared history. And then my third panel, I wanted help with having more confidence in approaching new people and overcoming my social anxiety. I am neurodivergent, so I have tremendous social anxiety. And so I wanted help with that because I'm always racked with all these horrible thoughts about how am I approaching people? Am I coming off too nervous, et cetera, et cetera. And then with your help, I imagine that I will become more patient with myself and also more curious and, understanding of other people. So that's my comic.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How wonderful that you have these generational stories that you know well and can share with us.
Thanks,
Thank
Ellen.
you so much for sharing.
We'll go to Michaela next. And in the chat, there was a request in the chat to make a zine out of these because they're so moving. And I'm putting in the chat a place to upload images. We'll make a really quick PDF and share it next week. So it's in the chat. Anyway, we'll go to Michaela next and then Jessica. Here we go.
Okay, thank you very much. This is an amazing session. I mean, I say that almost every time, but this one is truly outstanding. And I want to say to Ellen that the poem that you illustrated about the children that are breaking vases, that made me cry. I'm not gonna say that much more about that, but yes, your comics have been amazing the last month or so.
Thank you.
So I want to show the comic I want to show. I imagine my ancestor to be Oscar from the Tin Drum.
Ah.
And if you have never seen the Tin Drum, something that's important to know is that he made a lot of noise. He played his drum to the annoyance of a lot of adults, and he could scream so loud that it would shatter glass. And it's a film about German history. So the first panel is, "Hi, Oscar from Tin Drum. Thank you for your screams and for the laughs, for the noise that you made. You really got German history." And the second panel is, "I'm teaching a new class. I could use your help. I want students," this is this panel here. "I want students to feel, to get involved, to really get it." And the last panel is, "Maybe you could drum up some empathy for all." And then he says, "No problem, I'll be there." Or shake a bit, Thank you very much. This is awesome.
Thank you, Michaela. I love the boldness, the expressions, those eyes. And I also
Thank
love
you.
the mixed media. It looks like you're using pencil and pen. That feels really effective to me.
That just I want to put it all in pen. That's just in case I change my mind about
I
the
see.
text. And this is from a poster. Some of this uses images from the posters for the film. Watch
Beautiful.
the Tin Drum, people.
Beautiful.
It's an awesome film.
Michaela, and go to Poughkeepsie and take Michaela's class, right?
Yes, please.
We'll go to Jessica next.
Perhaps a little funny that we're going to have two comics in a row about drums, since we were preceded by a bunch of very vulnerable and moving stories. Mine kind of departs from the vulnerable. All week I was thinking about my closest ancestor, my grandmother, and it's just interesting to me that I would shift and not create the comic that I thought I would, thanks to Ellen's prompts. So mine is to an ancestor rock star, Karen Carpenter. And so in the first, oh gosh, how do I unblur? There we go. So in the first panel, it says, "Dear Karen, thank you for sharing your immortal talent with the world." Karen Carpenter of the Carpenters, who unfortunately passed away when she was quite young. I was a child when she passed away. Well, I think I was a young teenager when she passed away. And I really admired her talent. And the second panel is, this year I want to record a 12-song album with my band. So I've played music most of my life and just do it for fun now. I used to do it for a living, but now it's just very soul-filling to still be playing music when I never imagined I would continue, but I have, and it's been very surprising and fulfilling. So I'm asking Karen for some help because, I mean, yes, I'm playing drums in this band, but I'm not really a drummer. That's not my main instrument that I've played for decades. I've only played for a couple of years, so I need a lot of help. So I'm asking Karen, would you please help me with better techniques so my arm doesn't go numb, and learning new beats? And so there I am trying on my practice pad. And then on the last panel, I say, with your support, I imagine I'll be inspired to practice more and improve my drumming. And so there, I'm off panel practicing to a metronome. because it's very easy for me to not practice because it's not a really quiet thing, right? You're like somebody's gonna be affected by it. So I need to be more brave and practice more.
That's wonderful. I love your style, and I love Karen Carpenter. So it's very cool to see her as your ancestor.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, Jessica. Thank you. Okay, Zoom user David, right?
Oh,
You got your hand up? You got a comment?
hey, yeah. Sorry. How are you guys? My first time here, and I'm gonna depart from all the vulnerability. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm very honored to be in this space. That you guys would open up like that. It's very sweet. My condolences to everybody who lost somebody. So I make my own comic book. I write. Let me see if I could flip this. So I've made this one and this one here. But I write it, and I'm having trouble finding artists. So I'm like, now I want to learn how to draw, even though I've never really drawn before. So this is Dear Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Thank you for setting the table for all comics. There's that. And then jumped over here. This year I want to learn how to draw. That's me in the jersey I'm wearing right now, drawing. And would you help me by guiding my hand? I missed the D there. And this would be Jack Kirby in like a Captain America shirt guiding my hand. And then I eventually want to go from comics to like directing. I direct as well. So this is me at the Oscars, accepting an award, but also like showing my comic as the beginning point of my career. And yeah, that's what I drew. And if anybody's interested in working, I saw a lot of people who need some motivation. I'm like constantly motivated. I'm constantly pushing people. So if you're looking to work on a comic or in a film or anything of that sort, I'm constantly looking for artists. So please hit me up. My IG. Yeah, I'll write it in the chat. My IG is Coho House, which is like the publishing company I have.
Sure, put that in the chat. And thanks for doing that. And trace Jack Kirby. He's awesome. So you can't go wrong learning from Jack Kirby.
Yeah, I'm trying to because I don't want to. I'm very much like I want to do stuff by myself, and sometimes it's tough to like wait for artists. So I'm like I'm trying to learn how to draw a little bit. But if anyone's out there interested, please reach out.
Good
Thanks
luck.
so much, David.
Thanks for coming. All right, VDR, VCR. I don't know if you are there. We'll go to Allie after this, and then Lucy, and then Elias. We have a couple more. We're gonna skip over to Allie because here we go.
I'm here.
Oh, we'll come to you next.
Okay, thanks.
So I back to moms. My mom died almost 6 years ago, when I was 19. And honestly, kind of a lot of my work since then has revolved around her. So this was like a very fitting way for me to start drawing again. I didn't really understand what was going on for my first square, so be gentle. So the first one says, Dear Mom, thank you for always making me feel like I could do anything I wanted to, like there were no obstacles. And I didn't really understand at first what was going on, so I kind of just drew things that reminded me of her, her Dunkin' Donuts coffee, her cigarettes, her coral nail polish. The second one, this year I want to learn to rest without guilt. I feel like I do a lot of resting, but not a lot of actual resting. So I never feel rested after I rest. Would you help me love myself how you loved me, forgive myself how you forgave me, respect myself how you respected me? Because I feel like I need love, I need forgiveness, I need respect to allow myself to truly rest without feeling guilt. And with your support, I imagine I'll ground myself into something much deeper than myself. I imagine I'll fall into both of us.
Oh my God, it's bringing tears. That's so gorgeous. And that last panel and the wording of falling into both of us.
Right.
And your line and your lettering, really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you. BDRVCR. Let's see. You ready?
Yeah, that's
There.
our camera on. Hello.
Hi.
This is my first time being part of the workshop. I have this comic over here. It was like I did these prompts like way too early because I'm very consistent. I don't have any like art relatives in my family, but all I can think of is the relatives that I wish to meet because I couldn't stop hearing any good stories from my parents' perspective. So it's kind of dark. So I wrote the list of what I want to do, and I circled what I want to do, what I really want to do, and I just evolve it to another list. Like I draw this as sheets, and this is my first panel. This is my abuela Blanca. She's not my grandma, but she's my dad's grandmother, and I never got to know her because she passed away when I was 10 years old. But I heard a lot of great stories about her. And there's like a lot of things that she cannot do because she and I are not very alike. But I think about the things that she can do to help me succeed through the new year as to connecting people, like by continuing the language to friends and family members because I barely know Spanish growing up. And the third panel on me is me learning how to use Spanish along with Blanca. I mean, the funny part is I added possibly Italian because she's born into an Italian family who left the country during World War II and then settled in Argentina. And the last panel is me in the future because I still struggle with becoming social, to family members like a lot, especially if I'm close to people in many gatherings. I'm capable of knowing a little bit of Spanish just based on the way I understand my parents while being raised with. So I just add the Spanish words that I know in the last panel. Like I think I misspelled Felicimo, and Felicimo is a pretty word.
I love the cartooning and the colors and the panels, the shapes of the panels. Very, very cool.
Thanks. It looks like a card shape because it was an accident, but I just choose to go for it, and then I draw the words below in like very steep diagonals.
Very
Thanks.
nice.
Thanks for
So I'll take a perfect pick on this one because this is dark.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Share everybody on Instagram and et cetera, et cetera.
And
I'll post them in the chat.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, if someone could Billy maybe could take a screenshot of the chat so I could see it later. That's all.
I'll save it. And
okay, thank you.
Okay, we have Lucy Bellwood next. Hello,
Hello,
Lucy.
friends.
Hi.
I did a comic about my great grandfather on my mother's side, Charles Robert Christie, who lived between 1849 and 1928. My mom is the genealogist of her generation. She has a belief that every generation has one, and I'm an only child and don't have a lot of relatives my own age. And this activity was really moving to me because when I was younger, she would be obsessively doing genealogical research all the time. And I bounced off it when I was young, and as I've gotten older, she used to say back then, like, maybe this is going to really matter to you someday. And of course, as I've gotten older and become a caregiver for my dad, that's really, it is coming to the fore. So the things that I know about Charles Robert Christie are limited because he lived quite a while ago. But I do know that when he lived in Edinburgh, he had a stationery shop. So I did a comic about that, saying, "Dear Charles, thank you for giving me your love of fine pens." Whoops, excuse me, I'm reading this mirrored and it's not working very well. Your love of inks. Oh,
We just
and I
watched the video.
turned off my video. I don't know how that happened. Here we go. Let's try that. All right. Take two. This is so challenging. Dear Charles, thank you for giving me your love of inks, pens, and fine stationery. This year, I want to fall back in love with the physical experience of making art. I miss it. Will you help me with falling, with delighting, with marveling at the ability to make marks? With your support, I imagine being a kid again, reveling in my own world of colored pencils, paper, and permission.
Gorgeous.
And extra show and tell, this is his pen case. Which
Wow.
I just put, it's got a little snap lid and it's leather. And
Wow.
I just remade my little altar for this year, and it was a lot about this. I'm supposed to be finishing a graphic novel this year, which caregiving has really made difficult. And so I'm trying to make it as seductive as possible. So this was a really beautiful exercise. And thank you all, everyone, for sharing so much about your humans who are inspiring you. And also so many people trying to tackle big projects and looking for like motivation and support. And how lovely to see you all cheering each other on. I'm really glad to be here, Ellen.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Beautiful.
Thanks, Lucy. We're gonna try to get Lucy to host one of these too. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Elias. You have time for 3 more, Ellen?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Dear Granny, I didn't know you, but your name was synonymous with resilience and indomitability. And those words are probably all spelled wrong. Thank you for your example. This year, I want to get a job that's in line with my values. Because, side note, my current job is no longer in line with my values, and this is going to become a problem. Would you help me be brave? There's me being real brave down at the bottom. With your help, I imagine finding work I can be proud of. And the hammering the nail is a generic representation of work. In real life, I'm very bad at hammering nails.
I love the representation of the brave you.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Elias. Okay, Lentil. Let's see. And Lentil was the instigator of my PDF, quickie PDF idea. So thank you.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, I just want to spend time with all of everyone's work. It's amazing if people upload it. I was gonna share screen.
Yeah, you can do that. Hang on a second. Oh.
Can y'all see it? So I live out in the woods in North Carolina, and for a few years now, I just relate to these woods a lot, and I spend a lot of time in them. So I made it about that. So, dear woods, thank you for being here. So there's the trees and like the trails that I've made, and the pond, and the beaver, and the geese and deer, and all kinds of other creatures and plants. I have like a lot of goals for this year. I mean, like all other years, but this year is feeling like it's coming on strong. So this year I want to be brave, want to learn, listen, pay attention, be kind, speak up, and be loving. So I'm asking like the swampy area. Sometimes like when I'm like wandering through the woods, I wandered through every day. I can just like ask questions and I feel like I can get answers. So I feel like I asked a question of the swampy area a while ago and it said, slow down and filter. So it said, would you help me slow down and filter? With your support, I imagine I will feel like I belong. I think it's a thing that we can all struggle with.
Mm-hmm. These are beautiful. Well, you know that I love your work, and you know also that I love the woods of North Carolina. So this is really special to read.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
Gorgeous.
for hosting
Awesome.
this. This is great.
Are you guys in person buds or just online buds?
We met at a zine festival in downtown Durham.
Nice. Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Lentil. We're going to go to Hunter. You will be our last one. Let's see. Spotlight. Here we go. Oops.
Hi everyone. So I actually did two ancestors. I decided one of my ancestors, my Nana Patty, who passed, and then Linda Barry, who is like one of my comic icons. She's still here, but I feel like a lot of my confidence in comics comes from her. So I drew Linda as a monkey because she often draws herself as a monkey. So I said, I don't know if you can see it very good. Okay. Hi, Linda Barry and Nana Patty. Thanks for joining me. I'm inviting you to this journey with me. And that's me sitting and like having coffee at the table, and they're both smoking. Linda's drawing comics. And I said, this year I want to honor my voice as a writer and artist by letting my work be heard. And they're both kind of like little angels in the clouds looking over me. And then I said, Linda, can you help me with my artist's voice? And she's reviewing my comics there. And then I said, Nana Patty, can you help me have the confidence to put my work out there? And that's me showing my work to the public. And Nana Patty's like got her hand on my shoulder, supporting me. And then the last panel, I said, with your support, I can connect with others through art. Yay. And they're like little angels on my shoulders. And I'm talking to all these cool people about my art.
I love all those panels. I especially love that last panel. So well put together. It's really cool. And the colors. And also, what a great team. It seems like you chose well. Beautiful.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Hunter. All right. We'll go back to Ellen as a spotlight. Oh my gosh, Ellen, I'm out of tears and almost out of breath. I don't have anything else to say, but I just really want to thank you for guiding us into the new year like this. My God, it's wonderful.
Thank you all for sharing all that you did. I mean, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. And I want to thank you all for being here. And I want to thank those ancestors that joined us tonight for being here. I mean, I felt like we were with many more than the faces that were represented.
Sure.
Thank you all.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got nothing good to say after all of that. It was really, really wonderful to have you guide us through that. Thank you so much. And good luck to everybody who is working, whatever you're working on this year, or playing or resting or whatever. And keep coming back and reaching out or reaching wherever is helpful. Anyway, Ellen, thank you. And thanks for staying late. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute themselves and give you an applause and a thank you. Thanks, Ellen. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Yay.
It's fun.
Happy
New Year.
It
was fun. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Chat, open that up in a tab, and if you put your image in there in the next few days, we'll make a quick PDF so let Lentil and some of the others can read it. We all want to read it. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a
And
great.
Tom, you're gonna share the screen, the chat with me.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that promptly.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ellen. Thanks everybody.